Chapter 7 The Fox Who Uses the Tiger's Prowess
狐假虎威。狐假虎威是一个所有中国人从小就熟悉的童话故事。在这个故事里，狡猾的狐狸欺骗了老虎，并欺负了别的小动物。从前有一座山上有一只老虎，有一天老虎饿了，就到林子里找东西吃。走着走着，老虎看见一只狐狸，就一下子扑上去把狐狸抓住了。老虎张开大嘴，正要把狐狸吃下去的时候，狐狸突然说话了：哼，你不要以为自己是百兽之王就可以吃我，你小心一点，因为我是天帝派来的王中之王，无论谁吃了我，都会遭到天帝的惩罚。老虎听了狐狸的话，半信半疑，可是看到狐狸一副神气活现的样子，又担心自己吃了狐狸真的会遭到天帝的惩罚。狐狸看见老虎犹豫不决的样子，就知道自己的计谋成功了一半了。于是狐狸就更神气地说：怎么？难道你还不相信我说的话吗？那你现在跟在我后面，看看大家是不是一看见我就吓得逃之夭夭了。老虎觉得这主意不错，就跟狐狸说：好吧，那我跟你去看看吧。于是狐狸在前面大摇大摆地走着，老虎在后面小心翼翼地跟着。走进树林里以后，很多小动物看老虎来了，都吓得飞奔而逃。这时狐狸回头看着老虎，很得意地说：怎么样，我说的没错吧？老虎这时就信以为真了，根本不知道那些小动物其实怕的是自己。狐狸只是借着它的威风来吓唬那些小动物。这个生动的童话故事背后，实际上有一段宫廷大臣之间明争暗斗的历史。战国时代，公元前475到221年，100多个大大小小的诸侯国经过多年征战，在公元前340年左右形成了7个国家，而南方楚国的势力达到了强盛时期。就在楚国与其他诸侯国争霸的时候，宫廷里的大臣们也在为得到楚宣王的宠幸而互相争斗。其中有2位大臣，一位叫昭奚绪，是楚国当时的令尹，也就是楚宣王之下地位最高的军政大臣。因为昭奚绪战功显赫，楚宣王册封他为将军。另一位大臣叫姜乙，善谋而有心机。姜乙把昭奚绪看成死对头，因此常在楚宣王面前说昭奚绪的坏话。可是因为楚宣王宠爱昭奚绪，姜乙就得想一些诡计来说服楚宣王。有一次，姜乙对楚宣王说：有个人有一条很厉害的狗，有一天狗往井里撒尿，被邻居要告诉狗的主人，可是狗很凶，挡住了门，所以邻居没见到主人。姜乙讲这个故事，是向楚宣王暗示，昭奚绪就是那条很凶的狗，想方设法阻止他和别的大臣见到楚宣王，不让他们给楚宣王献计献策。可见姜乙的目的就是希望昭奚绪在楚宣王面前失宠。还有一次，楚宣王问所有的大臣：听说北方各国都很惧怕昭奚绪，这是为什么呢？别的大臣都不知道怎么回答。姜乙马上意识到这是在楚宣王面前贬损昭奚绪的绝好机会，于是就讲了狐假虎威的故事。 甲虎威的故事，最后将以说到了故事的重点。大王啊，其实北方各国之所以惧怕朝夕旭，是因为他掌握着大王的兵权。其实他们害怕的并不是朝夕旭，而是大王您啊。这个故事没告诉我们楚宣王听了狐假虎威的故事之后有什么反应，但楚宣王后来确实削弱了朝夕旭手中的权力。历史资料对朝夕旭和姜乙是忠臣还是奸臣并没有十分清楚的评价，但是宫廷里大臣之间的明争暗斗是显而易见的。
The proverb in modern usage. Madam Mao, a paper tiger.
妻子姜青。许多历史学家都曾经用狐假虎威这个成语来形容毛泽东的第4任，也是最后一任妻子姜青。要不是因为毛泽东的地位与威望，姜青不可能在政治上有那么大的权力。在文化大革命的后期，毛泽东的健康状况恶化以后，四人帮实际上控制了整个局面。姜青更是充分利用了他第一夫人的身份。毛泽东去世后不到1个月，姜青和四人帮就倒台了。这进一步说明，没有毛泽东的话，姜青就是一只纸老虎。
This is the end of chapter 7.
The Fox Who Uses the Tiger's Prowess. The fable, The Fox Who Uses the Tiger's Prowess, is familiar to every Chinese person, whether young or old. In this story, the shrewd fox fools the tiger and bullies the smaller animals. Once upon a time, a tiger who lived on a mountain became hungry and searched in the woods for something to eat. He soon came upon a fox and in one leap grabbed it in his claws. As he opened his jaws and was about to sink his teeth into the fox declared, "Humph! So you think you can eat me just because you are the king of the beasts? Well, I am the king of kings sent down by the Lord of heaven. Whoever eats me will be punished." On hearing this, the tiger didn't know whether he should believe it, but seeing the fox speak with such authority, he became a bit worried that he would be punished by the Lord of heaven if he ate the fox. Meanwhile, on seeing the tiger's hesitation, the fox knew that his ruse was succeeding. So he puffed himself up even further and said, "Why, you don't believe me? Just follow me and watch everybody run for their lives when they see me coming." This sounded logical to the tiger, so he agreed. "Okay, I'll go with you and see what happens." So the fox strutted ahead with bold steps while the tiger tiptoed behind him. As they walked through the woods, all the smaller animals ran for their lives when they saw the tiger approaching. Thereupon, the fox turned and said to the tiger smugly, "See? Didn't I tell you?" By this time, the tiger was totally convinced, but he had no idea that the little animals were actually afraid of him and that the fox was using him to frighten them. This fable is not just a clever story for children, because behind it lies a true story of devious infighting among top officials in ancient China. During the Warring States period, ca 475 to 221 BCE, over 100 major and minor feudal states were gradually consolidating through annexation and conquest. By 340 BC, only 7 remained. Among these, the state of Chu in the south was the most powerful. While Chu was vying for hegemony against the other powerful states, officials serving King Xian of Chu competed against one another to gain his favor. Our story involves 2 of these officials in particular. One by the name of Zhao Shishu was prime minister and held the highest military and political position under the king. For his outstanding military service, the king bestowed upon him the fiefdom of Jiang. The other high official, named Jiang Yi, was a clever strategist and skillful schemer who saw Zhao Shishu as his arch-rival. Jiang Yi took every opportunity to badmouth Zhao Shishu in front of the king, but because the king favored Zhao Shishu, he had to devise cunning tricks to convey his messages. For example, Jiang Yi once told this story to the king: there was once a man who owned a very fierce dog. One day, the dog peed in the owner's well. This dastardly act caught the eye of a neighbor who tried to report it to the dog's owner. But the fierce dog blocked the doorway so the neighbor could not get through to the owner. In telling this story, Jiang Yi meant to tip off King Xian that Zhao Shishu, like that fierce dog, had unfairly set up barriers to block other officials from seeing the king, so they had no way to present their good advice and suggestions to him. Obviously, Jiang Yi was hoping to discredit Zhao Shishu in the king's eyes. On another occasion, the king asked all the high officials, "I have heard that all the states to the north are intimidated by Zhao Shishu. How could that be?" None of the officials knew what to say except for Jiang Yi, who immediately saw a golden opportunity to denigrate Zhao Shishu before the king. So he told the story about the fox who exploited the tiger's prowess, then concluded the story with this comment: "Great king, in truth the reason why all the states to the north fear Zhao Shishu is because he holds the king's military power in his hands. What they fear is actually not Zhao Shishu, but you, great king." The above story ends without telling us what immediate effect the story about the fox exploiting the tiger's prowess had on the king, but eventually the king did reduce the power placed in Zhao's hand. It is not clear from historical records whether either Zhao Shishu or Jiang Yi was actually evil or disloyal. What is obvious is that there was treacherous infighting within the court. Madame Mao, a paper tiger. The saying "the fox who exploits the tiger's prowess" has been applied to Mao Zedong's fourth and final wife Jiang Qing by many historians. Her ascent to political power would not have been possible without Mao's power and prestige. This relationship between Mao and Jiang Qing reached its most obvious point in the final years of the Cultural Revolution, when Mao's health had greatly deteriorated and the Gang of Four led by Jiang Qing held absolute power. The fall of Jiang Qing and the Gang of Four came less than a month after Mao's death, which further confirms that without Mao's backing, Jiang Qing was nothing but a paper tiger.